Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a budget, no XL team for Open Ultra League. It consists of Machamp lead, Gyarados safe swap, and alolan muck cover. The reason I chose Open Ultra League instead of Premier Cup is the fact that this team only has one answer to Venusaur, which is very common in Ultra Premier. I got up from 2,450 after a string of losses all the way to 2,667 ELO using this team. I will be showing the team's overview, how to play the most common leads, and 5 battles. If you just want to see the battles, use the timestamps in the timeline of the video to navigate. Also, before I get into the video, I just want to say that this YouTube channel's Discord server is open and available to join. In the server, you will find resources for every Go Battle League, including meta analysis, strong teams, and how to play them with articles and slides. Plus, there is early content and monthly self-tournaments, including the May Commander Cup. More details on the tournament and how to join are in the server. Machamp is a glassy but powerful pure fighting type. With counter and cross chop, it can deal heavy fast move pressure and continuously dish out fighting type damage. With access to Rock Slide, Machamp can also beat most flying types, such as Articuno and Talonflame, and have coverage against some of its counters, like Togekiss. Alolan Muck is a dark and poison type, allowing it to have incredible coverage and only take super effective damage from ground types. Alolan Muck has decent bulk and a reasonably high attack, allowing it to take on bulky Pokemon like Cresselia and Giratina with its dark type moves, and beating fairy types with Sludge Wave. Gyarados is an amazing safe swap, able to deal super effective or neutral damage to every single Pokemon in this meta. Since there are 0 common electric types in the meta, Gyarados hardly gets shut down, and has play against every single Pokemon. The combination of its typing and its moves allow it to beat the Giratina, Cresselia, Swampert, and Registeel, making it a fantastic core breaker. Every single Pokemon on this team is very flexible, having movesets that give amazing coverage against the meta, making it easier to come back from bad leads without winning switch advantage. Against Registeel lead, stay in and match shields. Against Cresselia lead, swap to Gyarados. Against XL Talonflame lead, stay in. I like to throw Cross Chop at the Talonflame, baiting Rock Slide, since most shield. If you successfully land a bait, you can then go for Rock Slide, match shields, and win all shield scenarios. If the Talonflame calls your bait, try to catch the next Flame Charge on Gyarados. The safest play is technically to go straight Rock Slide, as Machamp still wins that scenario, but you are left with barely any HP, and it can be IV dependent. Against XL Abomasnow lead, stay in and match shields. Same thing with XL Stunfisk lead. If you see a Giratina on the lead, swap to Gyarados. XL Politoed lead, stay in. Machamp wins the 0 shield going straight Cross Chop. If the XL Politoed shields the first Cross Chop, go for Rock Slide afterwards. If the Rock Slide lands, you win the 1 shield. In the 2 shield, you can go straight Cross Chop and win. Against Swampert lead, don't throw Cross Chop right away, and hope your opponent doesn't properly deny your fast move, and you get a counter through to the Swampert while they throw their charge move. If you do, you win the 1 shield. If you don't, catch the next Hydro Cannon on Gyarados. Against an XL Umbreon, stay in and match shields. Against an Articuno on the lead, the safest play is to only throw Rock Slide, matching shields. Against a Snorlax lead, stay in and match shields. Same thing for Lapras lead. If you see a Drifblim, swap to Gyarados. If you see a Charmer on the lead, swap to Gyarados and get shields down for Alolan Muck, whether they stay in or respond with a different Pokemon. If both shields are up, you will be in a tough spot because your opponent can completely farm down the Alolan Muck and Machamp will have a bad time. In the first match, my opponent, Eric C77, a legend ranked player, leads an Articuno. I get some lag in the beginning, so I have one counter less than I normally should have, but this is still a winning matchup for Machamp. I can just go straight Rock Slide, time my charge moves, and it is a winning matchup because Articuno is double weak to Rock with the Ice and Flying typing. They shield one the first time, and they also shield the second time, which means something in the back is probably weak to a fighting type. I'm going to bring in a Alolan Muck, and they make a crucial mistake here. It seems they're trying to get to a Hurricane to do massive damage on my Alolan Muck, but I'm able to get to the Dark Pulse right away and take it out. In comes a Regirock. So I know Regirock has access to Focus Blast and Stone Edge. So both pretty hard hitting moves, and Regirock is quite tanky. So Focus Blast deals a lot of damage, and I'm just gonna try to throw as many Dark Pulses as I can and hope whatever's in the back is something like a Giratina or a Swampert, something that with a shield Gyarados can sweep. So the Regirock takes me out, and when I bring in my Gyarados, they go for a Stone Edge. I have to shield this up, it deals a lot of damage, and then there's a Giratina in the back. Although I'm dealing super effective damage, it's non-stab, and this matchup is actually not in super duper favorable. Gyarados wins it, but it's actually very close. So I go for the crunch here, and timing it so that I try to CMP tie with my opponent's move, which I do. I cannot allow any moves through, fast moves, because I know that this is going to go down to the wire. Aqua Tail isn't enough to take out the Giratina, but I can finish off with Dragon Breaths, and it's a race. Lock on versus Dragon Breath. I'm able to get to the Aqua Tail at barely any HP, literally 1, and take out the Regirock, which was at a similar HP. Good game, well played. In the second match here, my opponent leads Cresselia. Horrible matchup, so I'm going to swap to Gyarados. My opponent actually swaps into a Registeel, which isn't a proper answer for Gyarados. Gyarados still beats Registeel. So it seems that this opponent's team does not have a proper answer to Gyarados. Aqua Tails are chipping, but over time it's going to add up, and all of the moves from Registeel are resisted, although they still do a decent amount. I'm able to dish off lots of damage with 3 Aqua Tails and the ensuing Dragon Breaths. And I'm going to let this move go, because I know it can survive, and Lock On doesn't do that much. And knowing that the Registeel will go down and they don't want to invest a shield, they swap into Swampert to quickly take out my Gyarados. And now I'm going to bring in my Machamp into this, because I want to keep my Alolan Muck for the Cresselia that my opponent has. So I'm just going to save both shields for my Alolan Muck. I don't shield the Hydro Cannon, it does a lot of damage, and I'm going to go for this Cross Chop. And I'm able to get to 2 before my opponent gets to 2 Hydro Cannon, so they're probably over farming. And they actually shield twice. So now I'm content with actually letting this go. and farming up some energy with my alolan muck. I'm going to shield this because it does more damage than Cresselia's Moonblast. However, I still have to keep in mind that the Registeel is still alive. So they swap into the Registeel, so I'm just going to take it out now before they can get a move. And the Cresselia comes back in. So 2 Dark Pulses is enough to take out a Cresselia. So this is looking like a pretty good game right now. I'm in a pretty good position. I shield up the Moonblast, and thankfully there is no attack debuff, which would mean the end of me because I wouldn't be able to take out the Cresselia. But somehow the Cresselia survives the ensuing snarls and the Dark Pulse at just 1 HP, taking my alolan muck out with a Moonblast. Very unfortunate, but good game. In this third match, my opponent leads Shadow Swampert. So this is winnable if I get a counter through while my opponent gets their charge move off. Unfortunately, I don't this time, and they actually get an extra mud shot through. So this is definitely going to be a losing matchup for my Machamp right now. So what I'm going to do is actually catch a Hydro Cannon on my Gyarados to reset the Swampert's energy. And my opponent immediately responds with an XL Umbreon. So this is a neutral matchup, but XL Umbreon just outbulks Gyarados. And 2 foul plays at this range will take me out. The first foul play chunks my health, and I'm just going to keep dishing out these Aqua Tails. They're doing lots of chip damage, and they're bringing the XL Umbreon into the red. Just barely not able to get to another Aqua Tail, but it's fine, because now I can get lots of energy with my Machamp. They throw the Last Resort, and it chunks, but I'm able to survive that. And they bring in their Shadow Swampert, even with the energy advantage that I have, which means that whatever's in the back, especially when they shielded this, is super weak to Machamp. The second Cross Chop takes out the Shadow Swampert. In the back is an XL Galarian Stunfisk. So Machamp is just going to go to town here, throwing these Cross Chops, and the counter damage is dealing a lot. And Machamp gets to Cross Chop the same time as Galarian Stunfisk gets to Rock Slide, but Machamp wins CMP, so it actually outpaces it, and I'm able to take out that Galarian Stunfisk. Good game. In this match against Tricky Timmy 1, my opponent leads XL Talonflame. So I'm going to not throw and just keep countering down, because you actually get an extra counter in that way. And I'm going to try to CMP with my opponent's Talonflame, and it actually wasn't a CMP because I'm able to get the Rock Slide off after baiting Rock Slide with my Cross Chop. I do want to win switch here, so I'm going to shield this Flame Charge. And my opponent tries to catch a move, the Rock Slide on their Alolan Muck. But I'm actually just going to stay in this matchup, because I know that my Gyarados does well against the Talonflame, and I don't have a proper answer to Alolan Muck other than Machamp. So I'm actually just going to stay in, and Machamp is just barely holding on. And Machamp is actually able to get to 3 Cross Chops and take out the Alolan Muck, surviving with basically 1 HP. And in the back is a Regice. So this is quite troublesome. Regice runs Blizzard and Earthquake. So I definitely don't want to bring in my Alolan Muck, as it takes super effective damage from Earthquake. And Gyarados also loses to to Regice in the Zero Shield. Blizzard does quite a lot of damage. I'm able to get to this Aqua Tail. It isn't doing much damage, and I don't know why, but I got a Great there. However, it still puts the Regice in Dark Pulse range, and my opponent actually makes a smart move going for the Earthquake, knowing that it would KO and Earthquake is a less energy intensive move. So I'm able to go for this Dark Pulse before my opponent's Regice gets to an Earthquake, and now I just have to get to this Sludge Wave and take out the Talonflame. I think Dark Pulse might have been enough, but I think they would have survived with like 2 HP or something. So I'm just going to play it safe and go for the Sludge Wave. Good game. In this match, my opponent leads a Giratina Origin. So this is horrible. I'm going to swap right away into my Gyarados. And they're actually staying in this matchup, so I'm just going to go for the crunch right away, putting lots of shield pressure. And they do shield. And I know that Shadow Ball from Giratina Origin will deal quite a lot of damage, so I'm actually going to shield this. I would survive, but it would put me quite low, but they actually bait with Ominous Wind. So this is quite unfortunate for me. However, since they're staying in, it means that they don't have a proper answer to Gyarados, so I'm actually going to double shield. I do correctly shield up the Shadow Ball, and in comes a Machamp. So I'm just going to go for these Aqua Tails, and because my Gyarados doesn't have a shield, it's going to go down to this Rock Slide from the Machamp. And I lose the CMP tie against the Machamp, unfortunately, so I'm not able to get a shield or take out the Machamp with my Aqua Tail. Rock Slide takes my Gyarados out, and I'm going to come in and farm down with my Machamp. Get a bit of lag there. It's okay. Cross Chop definitely chunks, but I'm able to survive, and I have a Rock Slide ready after the lag. I see that the Giratina is coming back in. Since it's low enough that Rock Slide will KO, I'm just actually going to go straight for Rock Slide. They don't shield, probably expecting a Cross Chop or maybe just wanting to absorb the damage. And in the back is a Talonflame. So I'm going to swap on the third Incinerate that the Talonflame has, and the Talonflame knows that I have a Rock Slide ready, so they're going to try to overfarm quite a lot of energy, and I'm just going to go straight for this Sludge Wave here, because if they do shield, then I can have the Rock Slide on my Machamp, and if they don't shield, it's going to do massive damage. So it does a lot of damage to that Talonflame, and now it's in the range where I think a Cross Chop will KO, and maybe even the counters from my Machamp. And that Incinerate damage, double boosted, nearly takes out my Machamp, and I'm holding on with 1 HP. I go for the Cross Chop here, and because Incinerate is such a long move, I'm actually able to take out the Talonflame. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you in any way or you enjoyed, make sure to press the subscribe button. It helps a lot. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.